Hello. We're showing off the Sovol SV08 today. I'm printing a replacement fob holder for a Honda Pilot in Sunlu Rainbow PLA. So there's going to be like a color transition. That should be pretty cool. But yeah, we're just watching this thing print. If you have any questions about it, feel free to put them in the chat. And if you'd like to get yourself one, tap a little shopping area down here. Got a 350 by 350 by 340 millimeter print bed. It's just huge. For anyone who has just joined in, this is the SV08 from Sovol. A very large open source 3D printer. If you'd like to check it out, you can tap the little shopping area at the bottom of the screen. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you're enjoying the live, tap the screen a couple times, hit the follow button. Thanks for watching. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Thanks for watching. How many printers do I have now? 5. 3 that work pretty well. 2 of them are Zortrax M200s that are just basically retired at this point. They still work, but they're super slow, and the beds are all messed up. Yeah, we got the Kobra 3, the Bamboo A1 Mini, now the Sovol SV08. I mean, it's really big, dude. 350 by 350 by 340. It uses Orca slicer, so it's really similar to Bamboo Studio, but it's all like open source. What am I making? This is a key fob for a Honda, like car key. Yeah, dude, it really wasn't hard, and it's connected through the Wi-Fi too. So I just downloaded Orca, sliced something, and sent it right to the printer, and it started printing. It's really fast too. I got a 14-minute benchy, and it's pretty damn good. This is another 14-minute benchy I did with the Sunloom multicolor. Rainbow PLA. How big is the machine? It's pretty big. So these shelves from Walmart, usually I can fit one printer on them. I had to put 2 of them side by side to build this thing. It's gigantic. The build volume is 350 by 350 by 340 millimeters. I mean, this is a pretty nice Core XY. So far, I like it a lot. I haven't had really any issues with it. It took about an hour to put together, and I was printing with it the day I got it. If anybody has any questions about it, feel free to put them in the chat. If you'd like to check out the specs for this particular printer, you can tap the little shopping area down here. How's it going, Double D? We're playing with the SV08 gigantic 3D printer from Sovol. It's pretty cool. Yeah, this is definitely bigger than anything you can do on a Bamboo. In the market for a new 3D printer for making cosplay gear, airsoft parts. I mean, this thing is huge, so
Like I threw a Mandalorian helmet in the slicer just to see how it would look, and there was like extra space on the build plate. It's super disorienting how big this build plate is. I've never had anything like it. It's pretty cool, and for under $600, it's a pretty impressive machine. What's the biggest item I've been able to make? I've only had this for 2 days. So I got it in the mail yesterday. I put it together. I did some Z offset calibrations. And so far, I've printed 3 benchies on it. So nothing super huge yet. But I'm going to. Do you have a Sovol, which is a Voron? Can you print some super big stuff fairly fast? Yeah. So this is a SV08. It's based on the Voron 3D printer, but it's mostly already put together. It took me about an hour to assemble yesterday. I do have videos on my TikTok profile about putting this machine together. But yeah, it's really fast. The build plate is 350 by 350 by 340 millimeters. Super big, super fast. Pretty awesome. Yeah, if you'd like to get you one, you can order through the area at the bottom of the screen there. Yeah, I've got a whole playlist on my profile about the initial setup and first prints on this printer if you want to check that out. Well, hey man, whenever you do, come back to my profile, go to that playlist. Any of those videos are going to have a little shopping bag at the bottom of the screen. If you do order through one of those videos, I get a small commission. So I'd really appreciate it when you are ready to pull the trigger. And you can do that anytime you need to. What am I making? This is a key fob for a Honda. So it holds like the buttons for the car and the little key part. making stuff to sell is a bit tricky. The biggest lesson I learned is not to make stuff that I like, but to make stuff that I know my customers are gonna like. I know that sounds simple, but just that little bit of perspective change tends to increase your conversion rate. So yeah, consider your audience when you're figuring out what you're trying to sell. Like, what do they need? What do they want? What do they think is cool? But with 3D printing, there's lots of different options on what you can make. How's it going, Van? You want to see my new toy? Look at this thing. It's ginormous. And very fast. So far, so good. I've only had it for 2 days. So yesterday I put it together, I ran some calibrations on it, and I did some initial benchy print tests. And they're really impressive. Like, this arc overhang right here is perfect. It's really smooth at the front of the boat. These holes on the front are perfect. The chimney's perfect. And this printed in 14 minutes. So really impressed with this machine. I haven't really pushed it as far as like a large print yet, because it is a bit noisy. But I don't want to get on my wife's nerves right away and do like a 20-hour print on this. So I'm starting with some small stuff, but so far so good. I'm not sure what the print speed is right now. It's probably like 300 millimeters per second. It says the max print speed is 700 millimeters per second. It took me about an hour to put together. I do have a playlist on my TikTok profile about this printer. It's got the video of the whole assembly and the first few like calibrations and prints I did on the machine. A lot of content on this printer in the last day. So if you're really interested in this and you want to see like the like first day experience, what that looks like, go check out the playlist on my profile. Yeah, pushing those speeds, typically the plastic can't really handle them. They are working on like high flow and high speed like PLA and PETG. But once you break like 500 millimeters per second, unless the part is like just huge, there's not really time for the plastic to cool down between layers. But this does have pretty decent cooling. Because like I showed you, the detail on those benches is really good. And that's the fastest ones I've ever done. Here's our little fob with some tree supports. I want to print this Christmas tree thing. I'm not sure if it'll work, but we're going to send it over, give it a shot. Now, if you do have a 3D printer and you've ever had issues with bed adhesion, there's some stuff called Hyperlock that I've got listed down here. It's a bed coating, and it works really, really well. I think you can get it for under $20 right now. So I would definitely pick up some of that. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Thanks for watching. Time to print a mask. See, I don't want to get on my wife's nerves right away with this thing. I will admit it is a bit noisy. I mean, it's a large machine, so it's got some heavy duty fans, some heavy duty motors. So it's not the quietest. So I don't want to start out right away with a really long print and get on her nerves with it. So we'll probably hold off on printing a mask for at least a week. Try and stay in her good graces. Hyperlock, yeah. So it's like a proprietary formula. It's made by this guy in Ohio, and it just works really well. It's super easy to apply, and it lasts for a long time. It's pretty cool stuff. Noise. Well, if you get some, it should ship to you pretty quick. No, this one only prints in one color at a time. There's not a multicolor system for this printer yet. It's still pretty new. But there is this thing called the Hungry Rabbit, which I've been looking at, which is basically an AMS system you can build to work with any printer and make it a multicolor printer. It does look like a bit of work, but I'm really interested in the project. It looks pretty cool. seen something called a turtle multi-material system. I haven't seen the turtle one, but I have seen a rabbit one. I might have to look into that. Because if it's just for a Voron printer, that would be a pretty good match for this guy. And I'm not gonna lie, the Hungry Rabbit system looks pretty complicated. Have a good night, you too. So this is a Christmas tree, but it's printing kind of cool. I haven't tried this particular file yet, so we'll see how it goes. That sounds pretty cool. I like collapsible things. It's a Christmas tree. I'm going to be using Sunloose rainbow filament, so it's going to change colors on the way up. Should look pretty cool. Good evening. For anyone just joining in, this is the SV08 from Sovol. It's a very large 3D printer. Print bed on this thing is 350 by 350 by 340 millimeters. And we're just playing around with it. It's my second day having it. So far it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a big bed. Yeah, and it's under $600. It's a pretty value-friendly large bed 3D printer. And that X1 Carbon's twice as much, and you can't print this big. On the other one, I'm printing another key fob. So pretty much the same thing we just printed on this one, but it's in glow in the dark. Right? So I've tried to talk to X-Tool, see if they'll send me a laser. No dice on that one. I also tried to talk to Beaver to see if they'd send me an electric furnace. They said no. It was very nice of Sovol to send me this though. So I am really trying to show it off for them. I'd like them to get a couple sales because it's a pretty cool machine. I mean, my DMs are open. I get offers from like sketchy products all the time. It's weird. They send me like women's clothes stuff and like makeup, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Does it self-level? Yeah. But because it's such a large printer, every time you turn it on, you need to do a Z offset calibration, which takes about 6 minutes. But other than that, yeah, it self-levels. I'm a little on edge with this print. So what it's going to do is it's going to print a wall all the way around here, and then a stem of the tree there, and then it'll start printing the branches, and hopefully they'll go from the stem to the wall nicely. Because this printer is so fast, it might like not print properly because it's supposed to like overhang in a certain way. But we'll wait and see how it goes. Can you ask again? Like, can you print Legos? Yeah. Legos are typically made with a plastic called ABS. If you want to print Legos like with the plastic they're made from, you do need a printer with an enclosure. But if you want to print them with like PETG or PLA, you can use a printer like this.
If anybody else has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We're printing the Christmas tree in Sun Blue Rainbow PLA. So it's going to change colors as it goes up. Should turn out pretty cool. This particular printer is the SV08 from Sovol. My second day with it. So far, I'm pretty impressed. Your son was looking at what? Hey, we sold something. Let's go. If you bought something, speak up. I'll shout you out. Heck yeah. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If you're enjoying the live, tap the screen, hit the follow button. If you want to get something cool, check out the shopping area at the bottom of the screen. Looks like the initial branching is looking pretty good. It looks like it got filtered, bro. Like TikTok is cutting stuff out. So yeah, just ask again. I don't know, man, I've got pretty high hopes for this Christmas tree now. It's looking pretty cool. I'm glad there's definitely gonna be some green in it too. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I'll check that out. Yeah, I agree. I think that's really neat.
It is interesting that it prints some of them really slow and then some of them really fast. I don't know what the difference is there as far as the slicing goes, but that's the way it wants to do it. Hopefully it'll work out. If you haven't yet, make sure to check out the little shopping area at the bottom of the screen. There's a bunch of cool stuff down there. I think this print said it's going to take about 2 hours. It's 23% done now. And it's been 27 minutes. One thing I really like about this rainbow filament is like you never kind of know what color is going to be next, but the transition is always really smooth. It prints really well too. I'm a big fan of it. I think I may have sold my first Sovol SV08. Somebody bought something. I'll have to check when I get off the live, but if anybody else wants one, go for it. If you have any questions, let me know. No eye yet. This printer is like super modifiable, so I haven't looked at all the things I can change on it yet. Like I said, I've only had it for 2 days, but I can almost guarantee over time that I will personalize this printer. There is kind of a knob on the back of it here. You can kind of see it spinning there. So you can manually like extrude filament if the nozzle is at temperature, which is pretty cool. You can also like retract the filament manually. I could probably put an eyeball on that, but it'd be on the back of it. And the fan on the front of this thing is super fast. If I put an eyeball on it, it would just be like going crazy. I'll figure something out. What's it making now? This is a Christmas tree. And I'm using a Sunlu rainbow filament, so it's going to change colors as it prints. And it started kind of purple, now it's turning green, and it'll continue to change colors as it goes up. Should look pretty cool when it's done. Yeah, if you'd like to get some of that rainbow filament, I've got some link down here. It's really great. They've got bundle packs of it too right now. So I'd check that out. For sure. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Don't be shy. It's about 30% done right now. Will it print that outside ring the size of the tree? Yeah. And then when it's done printing, you basically just cut that outside ring out, and you'll be able to see the stump of the tree, and the branches will be hanging out. But yeah, it only prints it along the base of the tree. It doesn't print it all the way up. Yeah, yeah. No, it doesn't print it all the way up. Yeah, it's fast, man. Fastest printer I've ever had. It's a pretty interesting print. Yeah. I don't have any brown. Like, I always look to go print some kind of animal. I forget, oh man, I don't have any brown. Just not a color I think of when I'm ordering filament. I mean, I heard it several thousand times. I don't know, man. You do something like the same thing every day for 5 years straight. Like, it's nice to mix it up a little bit. I still love making coin rings. Don't get me wrong, but playing with free 3D printers, yeah, that's a yes for me. I was actually thinking it's kind of funny, like my whole jewelry business is based around like handmade jewelry, and now I've got like robots making things. A little ironic. This print's going to take 2 hours. It's got 45 minutes in, so about an hour and 15 minutes left. For anyone just joining in, we're showing off the SV08 from Sovol, a massive 3D printer. If you have any questions about it, please put them in the chat. If you'd like to get yourself one, check out the little shopping area at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for watching. I mean, I wouldn't stop you from getting one, Corey. They are definitely amusing to watch, and they look even better in person. That's what got to be anxiety-inducing printing like that. I swear every time I glance at spaghetti. Yeah, this is an intentional spaghetti print. And we're using Sunlu rainbow filament, so the color's going to change as it goes up. You can see it started kind of purple, and it's transitioning to this bright green. I'm not sure what color will be next, but it should be pretty cool. Yeah, it's a Christmas tree. How do you do it? Just like high heat, no cooling or something. Actually, you can hear the fan. It's cooling pretty quickly, actually. So just the way the file is designed, kind of just makes tree branches. Spaghetti, no meatballs. So yeah, you're just kind of printing on air on purpose. Does it fail often? I mean, like, the defects on purpose. So initially this design's main issue was the initial branches, but they added this kind of loop around the base of those that you can cut off when it's done. And since those branches are printed properly, all the branches above them kind of rest on the bottom ones. So it's printing pretty good. So yeah, that wall underneath it will get removed once it's done printing, and you'll be able to see like the base of the tree. It's actually looking pretty organic as far as the 3D print goes. I think it's going to look very tree-like when it's done. Kind of bonus that it turned green as well. Good looking print. Got about an hour left on it. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If you're enjoying the live, make sure to tap the screen and hit that follow button. Thanks for watching, guys. Between the three, which do I like the best? I mean, they're all good. I've only had this one for like 2 days. Yeah, the A1 Mini is a rock star as far as its ability to print in multiple colors and the print quality and the price. But like the print bed size on this one and the filament dryer on the Kobra 3, like they're all great machines. I guess it really depends on like the end use, like what you plan on making with it. Like if you need larger objects, obviously the Sovol's got you there. You know, if you just want to print in PLA and do multiple colors, the A1's a great way to go. The Kobra with the dryer gives you a bit more options with like what kind of filament you can print with. It is a little noisy, but I've got mine in an enclosure now, and that's cut down on quite a bit of the noise from the filament dryer. Yeah, the AMS is very quiet on the A1 Mini. It doesn't make much noise at all. Look at our little tree. The size of the bed is 350 by 350 by 340 millimeters. Yeah, it's a Christmas tree. It's pretty big. Just ordered one. Let's go. From the link down here? Heck yeah. I do have a playlist on my profile that walks you through like assembly and initial calibration of the machine. You may want to take a look at that. I just got this yesterday, and I filmed pretty much everything I did with it and then put it in that playlist. Yeah, it's coming out really good. So yeah, if you want to see what it's like to unbox this and put it together and do your initial setup, I check out that playlist. So I'm actually using a rainbow filament, so it's going to transition color. But yeah, right now with the SV08, it is limited to one color. But there are like AMS systems you can add to it to print with multiple colors. I haven't looked too deeply into them, but there are a couple different options, like open source AMS editions. I sold 2 of these today. I'm stoked. That's what's up, guys. If anybody else wants one, tap the little shopping bag at the bottom of the screen. Under 600 bucks for a huge build plate, very fast printer, open source. Lots of modifications you can do to this thing. It's got a solid community behind it too. I recommend joining the official SV08 Sovol Facebook group just to kind of stay updated on changes with the machine and things you can do for it. They've been really helpful and informative in my research before I got the machine. They've been really good. So yeah, check that out. Let's go. Word of advice, when you do put this printer together, don't do it on a table that gets easily scratched up, because you're going to be spinning and rotating this thing a whole lot, and it is made out of like pretty tough metal. So don't do it on your favorite dining room table. Like, if you have to, build it on the floor, but I built it on these plastic shelvings because they won't get scratched up. I just don't want you to mess up your stuff. Thank you very much. But yeah, it took me about an hour to put together, and I was printing with it the day it came in the mail. And I've been pretty impressed with it so far. Did a 14-minute benchy. And it came out pretty freaking perfect. Okay, so you know what you're getting into. Thank you very much. It was on the 11th. Right on, man. So this printer will be perfect for you. It's not really like what I would say a beginner 3D printer, but if you've had like one or two before, you should be able to do some pretty incredible things with this bad boy. I do think a first-time user could get their head around it, but it's not going to be the smoothest introduction to 3D printing, I think. But yeah, I like it a lot. It's doing a pretty dang good job. If you have any questions about it, please put them in the chat. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm gonna have to print something big on this thing. I know it. Any suggestions? What should the first big thing I print on this be? What do you guys think? It's more than a foot long. Like, it's over 13.5 inches long in every direction. Print slower? I probably should. This is the first time doing something like this, and I just threw it in to see how it would do. This is kind of like a test print. I've only had the printer for 2 days, so I haven't tinkered with any slicer settings or anything like that. kind of gives it a organic look, kind of a scruffy little tree. So if it was printed a bit slower, the branches would be a little longer. What's happening is it's getting to the end of the branch and the plastic isn't solidifying completely. So when it moves backwards, the plastic just kind of pulls back with it. We're still getting a decent looking branch, but if it was printed correctly, they'd be a little longer and a little more uniform. Can I ask where I found the STL file for the tree? I found it on Maker World, and unfortunately it's just called Christmas Tree. It's not the most aptly named, but I'm sure you can find it. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We're showing off the SV08 from Sovol, printing a Christmas tree in rainbow PLA. Looking pretty cool. Running a Creality Ender 3. Oof. I have heard some Ender 3 horror stories. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
It looks so cute. I can't handle it. For anyone just joining in, this is the Sovol SV08, a very large 3D printer for under $600. If you have any questions about it, feel free to put them in the chat. How would I compare this to my A1? So I've only had this printer for 2 days. I've done a few initial tests on it. The one thing I can tell you is it printed a better benchy faster. So the fastest I've been able to print a benchy on the A1 is 18 minutes. I printed this benchy in 14 minutes, and it is pretty much perfect. Yeah. And that's without any like calibration as far as filament goes. I did do a Z offset calibration, and then that was my first print, was that benchy. And I've done a couple other benchies as well. This one was in the filament I'm using right now. But yeah, pretty fast. It also has, I think, 4 times the print bed size of the A1 Mini. Yeah, I'm currently printing PLA on it. I've watched a bunch of your A1 streams and saw you streaming yesterday and again today. Yeah, I love the A1 Mini. But this machine can definitely do some things that the A1 Mini cannot. They've both got their strengths. I also like the Kobra 3. But this thing is just massive. I mean, it's half the price of an X1 Carbon, and I don't know, 4 inches bigger, basically. 3.5 inches in every direction larger. It's big. I've got the A1 Mini link down here if you want to take a look at it. Oh, you got to pull it apart? That's no fun.
No, this is a rainbow filament from Sunlu. I've got it linked down here. It has a color transition throughout the filament, so it's going to change from like purple to green. I think blue is the next color. It's just like a rainbow filament. I was comparing it to the X1 just a second ago. What slicer do I use? Orca? Yeah, this rainbow filament's really cool. If you have a 3D printer, go get their bundle. It's linked below here. It's a pretty good deal. You get like several different types of rainbow filament all grouped together. Pretty cool. And they've got some silk rainbow filament too in that listing. The filament cutter broke off. Oh man. I don't know. I would reach out to Bamboo Support and see if they can help you out. Create a support ticket with them. They tend to be pretty helpful, especially with like replacement parts.